Alrighty, can everybody hear me? That should take just about a minute to get set up. Whoa, did not mean to do that. I got the rechargeable version of the pen, but it doesn't have the on-off button that the original does. So it automatically goes to sleep to save on the battery, but I really like how it feels when I hold it. It's a pretty decent pen. So I'm just gonna go and check out what's going on in chat. Alrighty. Nice. Good to know the mic's on this time. Alright, so I guess let's get started. This one is from Aqua Stormfall, her OC Josh, who is a villain summoning some darkness. I tried to make him look intimidating, but I think if anything about this ends up actually being intimidating, it's gonna be more in the coloring phase. So, without further ado, I think I can close out my reference window for now. I don't really need it at this moment. So, let's just... I may have to mess with my pressure sensitivity a little bit more after this stream, because while I was trying to fix my other pen before I probably ended up breaking it the rest of the way, I was messing around with my pressure sensitivity settings since I thought that might be the problem, but it was not the problem. The problem was mechanical inside the pen itself, which probably came from being dropped and batted around by the cats too much. I was a little bit disappointed that that the pen broke, because I have never had a pen break on me before. But there's a first time for everything, and I'm not exactly that easy on my equipment, so... So I'm not really sure whether I want to, whether I really want to let that affect my general opinion of Huion's products. Again, not sponsored, I just use their stuff, which I pay for with my money, so, so I am not sponsored, but they would be a company that, well, you guys already know. I say this basically every stream. Let's try and give a nice evil smirk here. I have not figured out quite what it is that makes a smirk look particularly evil. If any of you guys know the answer to that, I would be very happy to know. You know what? I'm not even gonna show his teeth. I'm just gonna... Nah, that looks awkward. That'll have to do. Sorry, Josh, I can't draw you today. So far, I really do like the rechargeable pen. This is basically the test run of the thing. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna mess around with my pressure sensitivity settings after the stream, but that's not gonna be for a couple more hours. If you can hear that buzzing, I'm pretty sure that's the heater. Not like a space heater, but the actual heater to my house is right outside the window that I'm looking at right now. It's important if you're doing art to set up your workspace near a window. I know sometimes it I know sometimes there's glare, and if your supplies are not light fast, there may be some fading. But if you don't get out much, having that window is honestly a really big deal. So, my workspace is right here in front of the window, but it's also overlooking the heater and the neighbor's fence. So, there's not much of a view, but I mean, the only other window in my room just looks out at the road. So, there's not really that many views to choose from. And usually I don't even work sitting here in my room because usually I work sitting out in the rest of the house so that I can talk to people when people are home. It does slow me down working out there, though. I will admit that. But sometimes it's really kind of worth it just to have the ability to talk to people. So, is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Okay, good. Did not accidentally give him 6 fingers. Insert Princess Bride joke here. 'Cause I'm sure there is one to be found. I'm just not creative enough to figure it out yet. These hands. What is anatomy? I don't know. Never heard of her. So, yeah. Hopefully this looks cheesy and evil enough. There's something to be said for cheesy. Cheesy's fun. Hold on, let me take a drink of this water. I knew it was going to be a 2-hour stream, so I got myself some water. 1 second. Alright, that should be better. Trying not to clear my throat during the stream too much. Clearing my throat is kind of like my go-to, but it really shouldn't be, apparently. Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some highlights here. And now let's, selection tool is what I'm looking for. That is not all closed in, but I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, that works. I'm just gonna take some kind of darker colors, and it will probably actually help if I went to background color and gave it a bit of a dark background. Could probably go darker and bluer, or at least purple, or purpler isn't a word. It is to me. There we go. Alright, now, there I go, clearing my throat again. That should look kind of like a skin tone, even though it most definitely is not. I should probably desaturate it or something. But yeah, using this pen feels pretty natural. I think my biggest hang up is going to be that I'm going to want to turn it off, even though it doesn't do that. Let's see. Let's take down the saturation a little. Maybe the brightness just a touch. There we go. And then I think I could even use a neutral gray for his hair, because his hair is supposed to be dirty blonde. Yeah, that's actually a flat neutral gray right there. Color theory is weird. Just when you think you've got the hang of it, you really don't. Alright, let's see, his shirt I believe is like a green. Could probably get away with making it blue. That is way too bright. Let me just, there we go. And then for the blue jeans I can actually go blue and dark. There. That's not what that's another thing I need to mess with. I need to reset my buttons on the thing, because it's got 2 buttons that you can program, but right now I have them on the wrong settings from messing with my last pen. So I'm gonna need to fix that later. That's not what I wanted to do. Here we go. And then he has brown eyes, I think, right? I think I can actually go very dark and very saturated for that. There we go. Now I can go up here, and with my sketch to tell me where to brush in the stuff, I can use my airbrush and just, there we go. Let's see, since I couldn't do any digital art yesterday, I did a bunch of, or I painted a little bit in acrylic. It's been a while, and boy did it show. Let's see. Why does this remind me of the villain from Fern Gully? What was his name? Hexus? Boy. If I changed Josh's expression, which I'm not gonna do, that could be a really funny way to play this. Not that funny is what I'm going for. So, there we go. Gotta make this look nice and smoky and threatening. So then we'll take this and just draw a little bit of light like that. And then I feel like there should be kind of a sickly pinkish purple glow from this. I think if I take this, weaken my scatter strength, bring up my opacity, increase my random, or yeah, increase my random all the way. I should. Nah, that's not quite right. It's too gray, that's my problem. Let's try this. Nah, still doesn't quite look right. Oh well, I'll just add it as a glow. Maybe using my airbrush again. Nah. Let's try it over here. Alrighty. Let's clip to that. Oh yeah, I need to merge these two layers. There we go. That is on the wrong layer again. Alright, let's try hard light. No, hard light. That should look vaguely threatening enough. I'm going to go and check the chat while you guys look at that. And, I don't know what you mean by is it supposed to look like that. Is it supposed to be different? Ooh, I need to get moving on to the next piece. I'll fix it. This one may take a while. I'm very proud of this sketch. This was asked, or Dino Art 65 asked for this one. And yeah, I think it's a very cute one. They're watching Ghostbusters, as I've tried to really show here. And then probably off camera I'm going to add the the widescreen bars at the bottom of the screen, or the screen in air quotes. So that we don't have to bog this down with the minutia of positioning those two bars, because that does take way too long to be kept here. So just gonna add man, I cannot draw a focused eye to save my life. Let's see. There he is. So yeah, this is just Chase and Claire watching Ghostbusters. I believe watching the beginning of the movie, but I actually rewatched Ghostbusters while I was working on this. Because I wanted to have an idea if I should put any dialogue down, but I decided to just make it the general movie. And according to Dino, Claire likes the movie, but the library scene does freak her out a little bit. Let's see. There we go. You know, maybe it would help if I mirrored my sketches every once in a while. Because that is so not even. Alright, there we go. That looks a little bit better. Let's see. I have not seen the new Ghostbusters movie. This is the original, as far as we're concerned. So, I've heard that the new movie had some good ideas in it and some bad ideas, but it's mostly just polarizing. Because, I mean, I'm one to talk, but it's just polarizing for basically no real reason. Let's see. But, let's see. There we go. Adding our hand. I'm probably going to trace the Ghostbusters logo just so it doesn't stand out for being too clean. The one in here is actually copied and pasted. I got line art of it, and then I colored it in my sketch color, and then I put it into the sketch as it was. So, I'm probably actually gonna line art it the same as everything else just to make it fit. There we go. Let's see. That should keep it looking just model enough to fit in with everything else I draw. There we go. Let's see, I still can't seem to do hands very well, but whatever. Okay. If I could just make this hand turn out alright, that would be great. There we go. Alright, there's the Ghostbusters logo there. Just not really sure what else to talk about other than how cute these two are together. But I've already talked about that a lot, so let's see. There's her ear, there's that, there's a stray strand of hair. Because when you have long hair, it does not behave the way movies would want you to believe long hair behaves. Long hair is honestly so unruly that it's very, I don't want to call it necessarily punk, but long hair never wants to behave. Which I like to carry over into my drawings. As someone who has had long hair at one point, and is growing it back because, I mean, even though it's unruly, once you finally do get it tamed, it looks pretty cool. Alrighty. Just for fun, I drew Claire in kind of just normal pajamas. The reference I used here actually had a really good shot of the feet for some reason. So this foot should turn out better than they usually do. And that is 4 toes, not 5. Murphy's Law, I guess. Nah, never mind. There we go. And then her other foot is just kind of tucked behind there. And there's her leg. Let's see, I played around a lot with the anatomy from the reference. I'm not sure if I actually saved the reference. Some of the references I did save because they were for characters, or it was just easier to pull them up from files. I'm gonna take a sip of water here. This will be covered by the widescreen bars, so there we go. Let's see, there should be a seam about there. I don't know, I really shouldn't be worried about drawing seams. There we go. I feel like these hands are not in proportion to the rest of the characters, but at this point I really cannot be bothered to fix it, and that sounds awful. Because of course, what's a movie without popcorn? Let's see, I actually don't tend to have good experiences with popcorn, but I eat it anyway, just because it's tasty. But I'm pretty sure we all have that food that's like that for us. Okay, they're also sitting on some pillows. I would have added a blanket, but then I thought I went to all this trouble with the anatomy, you know. It would have just been more work to draw the blanket over everything and still reveal and still have the pose show through. So, yeah, I'm just gonna hide the sketch there. I've got to close the line art in a couple of places. here, and here. And then let's see. Good. Alright. This should actually probably be in the same vein as some earlier ones. So background color, probably dark. And then they've got the light from the TV shining on them. So, gotta play around with our skin tones a little bit. I'm actually going to, first I'm gonna open up my reference window and bring in the one of Claire fighting Hagar. So, let's see. It's in here somewhere. Here. And then I can just take this color and shift it a little more towards the blue side. And that is not quite warm enough. Let's go with that. I'll fix that in coloring. Alright, there's Claire. And then for her hair, let's try, no. That looks alright, I guess. I'm not gonna fight it anymore. So, there's that. And then his hair is a bit lighter. There we go. Wrong button again. That is a little too light there. Alrighty, there we go. Let's see, he's wearing a white shirt, which is going to be tinted kind of blue. Not quite there. There we go. Adventures in color theory, guys. The ones after this probably won't take as long. I know the one I've got planned directly after this, the one I've got planned for directly after this is actually mostly done. I already picked out a color scheme and stuff for it, so it shouldn't take as long. There we go. I'm just gonna make her top, I think I'll make her top read a little bit pink, not that bright. There we go. This is why you shouldn't just go reprogramming your buttons for no reason. Or at least why you should reset them when you're done with them. So, yeah, there we go. And then I guess I'll give her kind of whitish pants. Alrighty, and then for him, he's got some pretty dark blue pants, so they should be pretty saturated. And then I'm just gonna have him wearing socks there. And then what I'll read as red. That is not reading quite as the color I want. That looks better. Not quite there, but better. Maybe not quite like that. That's better. And then what's going to read as purple is going to be very blue shifted. There we go. Oh boy, I actually have this written down. Hold on, sorry. I have officially made a box where I'm keeping cheat sheets for these characters. Okay. So his left-hand side is going to be blue, like that. It's a little too bright. Go. It's gonna read as green, hopefully. Yeah, sorry. I have something akin to dyslexia, so it can be an interesting challenge. It can be an interesting challenge to guess what left and right are in relation to the characters. And my wrong button again. So, anyway, there we go. And I'm just gonna add a pink pillow here, and here, and, well, maybe not. I'm gonna, no. Let's see. Maybe if I just make them look kind of beige. Yeah, that'll work. Actually, that reads lighter even than this color, so I think I can stand to bring that up. There we go. And then I'll just bring that up a little bit. In which I lose all ability to color. Alright, so new layer, clip, and I'm just gonna have some blues and stuff overlaid over this. So let's just, this should sufficiently add texture to the popcorn. And I'll need my airbrush. Here we go. Here's the popcorn bucket. And then maybe not add, more like overlay. There we go. And then with that I can actually shade it too. There we go. Alrighty, we are nearing the end of this particular piece. I'm okay with going overtime this time, just because I don't like to miss a scheduled thing, and if it takes longer to hit the goal, might as well, you know? Alright, back to pen so I can add the highlights to their eyes and check the chat and call this one done. Ish. Again, because I want to add the bars and subtitles after the stream, so I'm just gonna scoot over here. Cool. I'm glad you like the lighting. Cool. Alrighty. So now on to this request. This was really weird. I was never really sure how to describe it, but in any case, I have references on my desktop for these characters. This is going to be very off model, but the reason that I did the background there was a reason I did the background like this, but I can't remember what that reason was. So, there we go. Merge the two sketch layers. Bring down the opacity. Alright. Again, I'll set my brush size to 10. There's only so much I can keep characters on model, especially when I'm in a hurry like this, so these are gonna look kinda weird. I hope whoever asked for this commission is okay with that. So, let's see, we've got this. There we go. Alright, so this one is quite interesting, but it was a nice challenge to try to draw. just because it's not the kind of request you usually get every day. And it's a difficult pose without being too obviously pin-up-y, so I don't even know or care if pin-up-y is a word, but I mean, you guys know what I mean, so it doesn't matter. There we go. These look like characters I would have tried to draw back in middle school, just on my own. Let's see. I don't know. Like, there's just a quality about the way they're stylized that just says, middle school me would have loved these characters, probably. I mean, maybe not, but I do think that I've got... Did I even add in her entire braid? Which character am I even attempting to draw? Okay, okay, I'm adding the braid to the wrong one. See, there's her hair ribbon. And yeah, there we go. I'm probably not even going to add the stripes until I get to coloring, which means that there is probably going to be a significant amount of error in this, but it's still really fun to draw. I have found, since I've gotten a bit older as an artist, that I draw chins more rounded than I used to. Like, I used to try to draw really pointy chins, but I don't do that now for some reason. At least not as much as I used to. And I don't know why that is, but it's just something I noticed working on this. So, got wrinkly shirts here. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. And there's one hand. And I have no idea even what these things are called. Like, my brother and I used to have a couple of them when we were kids, but I have no idea what they're called. I would say a giant kettlebell, but really a kettlebell is a weight that, you know, that's not exactly what these are. I imagine you probably could use them with weights, but why? Alright, so there's her bow there. And the buttons here. Bring that like that, and then she's got her undershirt there. At least I think it's an undershirt. It might looks like one anyway, or like the neckline of her dress. So then we'll finish off her hair over here. Like so. There we go. I'm just gonna erase that, smooth it out a little. So how's everybody's day going? Soon as I finish the line art on both of these characters, I'm gonna check the chat again. Since I already picked out my color scheme, and I think I'm gonna leave this one in flat colors. And I mean, like, I don't know, I'm fine going overtime, but at the same time, you know, I'm not exactly trying to make any masterpieces here. Which might be the completely wrong outlook to have with art, but I don't know. If you try to make a masterpiece of perfection every single time, it's one of those things that can cause so much angst that you might not end up actually drawing anything whatsoever. And the way I see it, 10 mediocre pieces are better than having 0 perfect ones. I mean, either way you're gonna have 0 perfect ones, but having 10 mediocre pieces because at least you tried is better than having 0 pieces because you didn't want to make something that wasn't perfect. I guess is what I was trying to say. I'm gonna take a drink of water because my throat is starting to get a little sore here. There we go. And yeah, this is probably very good practice for later in life with really long conversations and stuff. Ugh, why am I yawning? No idea. I did not actually have any coffee today, so there's that. That might be why I'm yawning. Alright, let me just add that, and a couple of frills there. Let's see. After the stream, I'm probably gonna watch this podcast. It's called Tip of the Tongue, and it's just basically about production. It mostly centers on animation and voice acting because that's what the people who run it do. But it's got advice that you can apply to basically any field. So it's run, so it's up on the channel Jello Apocalypse. He's the guy who does this, so this is basically videos. And the latest one is just about writing, so that should be interesting. And then what else? I've been watching more Subnautica playthroughs because that game finally released. Don't know if anybody else watches Subnautica. But yeah, it's interesting to see the final version of the game, finally. It always kind of seemed like one of those games that would never really make it out of production, but here it is. It's pretty interesting. Alrighty. Don't know why this one's going so much easier than the other one. But she's got her braid like that. There we go. Alright. That should look fine if I can move here and not rotate the thing. There we go. I did not bother counting the number of links in her hair. So yeah, I just kind of guesstimated based on how long it was. So there's her little ascot thing. And then the bow like this. And let's see. There we go. There's her puffy sleeves. And the cuff. And there we go. There's her hand. And her other hand. And the actual handle on the ball thing. And then the two buttons there. There we go. And then her skirt is very heavily pleated, but there are no frills inside it, like with the other one. Or did I have them mixed up on who has frills and who doesn't? Oh well, it's okay. I'm just gonna keep going. To quote Dory, just keep swimming. I'm still umming. That has not changed. I'm almost as bad as Jeff Goldblum. There I go again. It's just, I don't know, it's like buffering, trying to think of something to say. And not having anything to say. I really should ask for topics to talk about during these streams. That would make things kind of easier. Probably. Usually I just talk about what I'm drawing, but I don't know what else to say. about this one. There's not much to it. Okay. There we go. There's one. There's two. There's three. There we go. Again, just always umming for some reason. I drew her eyes wrong. I'll fix that. At least it's an easy fix, aside from the erasing part. There we go. This art style for some reason gives them massive highlights in the middle of their eyes. And it's an interesting look. Yeah, so just gotta finish drawing the rest of her hair. There we go. Strand out this way, strand out like that, and like that, and like that, and like that. Just trying to get this drawn as quickly as possible so that we can keep going. And yeah, that looks alright, I think. Let's see if that, good, that's all solid except for over here. There we go. Now I've already got my color scheme selected, so zoom out. Actually, I can delete my sketch layer. Want to reference the canvas there. That's good. Okay, it's her hair that's actually tied. I forgot to add her bow when I was doing the color scheme, so I'll add that in a second. They both have the exact same color of shirt. And skirt. I'll have to fix that when I go to color it in. There we go. Yeah, I did mix up which one had frills and which one didn't. That's okay. There's the tights. There we go. Here's her hair color. Alright, so that's not looking too good, but we'll get there. I forgot to do the line art on their suspenders, I guess. What it's called doesn't matter, it just matters that you can draw it and realize when you haven't drawn it, and you should have. So, there we go. This color again is off-white, it's vaguely purple. So again we see the whole thing about using off-white instead of, oh no wait, I didn't mess up which one had the frills, never mind. There we go. And then she actually has a yellow bow. Like that. And then their buttons are the same color as the undershirt, so that goes there. Fill that in, fill this in, get the color there, and then they both have the same skin tone. Oh well, I'll have to fill that in with pen later. So yeah, this is starting to turn out alright, I guess. There we go. Same off-white as always. Just fill that in right there. And there. Then there's that massive highlight. Fill in the eyes like that. I'm sorry if I'm boring you guys, I'm just trying to hurry through this. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't really think of anything. But, I forgot to check the chat again. Oh well. I'll get to it after I finish coloring this in. And you know, I think I can actually leave out a whole lot of detail and it'll still work. Yeah, I think I actually can leave out a whole lot of detail without too much fuss. Okay. There we go. Gotta use a lighter yellow here. Alright. Make sure that's filled in. And yeah. I feel like this is mostly, And I wish I had more to talk about. I just can't think of anything right now. Alrighty, I'm gonna call this one done. Oh yeah, I forgot to save the other ones. So I'm just gonna let you look at the next sketch, and I'm gonna check the chat real quick and just see what's been going on. Let's see. I did not get to see, I did not actually get to see Thor Ragnarok yet. I'll red box it eventually. There I go umming again. Okay, but this... Okay, can I just gush about this one? I actually got a reference, like a good actual turnaround for this character. So I feel a lot more confident about drawing him. I'm not particularly confident about the sword, but from the way the handle was wrapped, I decided to go with a katana-ish shape for the blade. And the only reason that I feel particularly confident in doing that is, oh, have you guys actually seen, there's a YouTube series, it's called Man at Arms. I'm not sure which channel runs it. You know what, I might actually just use the sketch because it's a really good sketch, and if I set it to multiply, it will automatically darken over the colors that I pick. So let's just color this in, and if I don't like it, I can always go back and line art or something. But I think going with a sketchy style for this might actually work. That wasn't what I wanted to do. But yeah, I think if I actually skip line arting this, I can get it done to a reasonably high degree of quality and give it a nice stylized look overall. So this character's name is Adir. I have no idea really about anything about him. So, if any of you know this character, I think Dino might. That was not intended to be a pun, but that pun was everywhere for a while. I miss it. So I think Dino might know something about this character, but I'm not completely sure. In the meantime, this was just an interesting design to work with. Again, I had a particularly good reference, so I was able to spend a lot more time on the sketch, and I'm a lot more confident with it now than I would have been otherwise. Really, that's what a lot of this stuff, really that's a lot of what the quality of these requests is going to come down to, is how good the reference is. And that's just how it is sometimes. Okay. Circular foreground. Here I go, yawning again. Like, right off the bat, the only thing I can really say about this character is that his haircut kind of reminds me of Shiro from Voltron. I think the way I've drawn him here accidentally made him look older than he's supposed to be. I didn't get much background information on his personality, but again, the design alone is really nice to be able to work from. So I'm just going to color in the eyes like that and like that. And then you just add the whites of the eyes like that. And yeah, this is mostly just going to be coloring and stuff. Those of you who have seen Thor Ragnarok, how was it? Like, I heard it was good and fun. But I haven't heard much else. I'm not even entirely sure what happens in it. I mean, I can guess because the title is Thor Ragnarok, but other than that, I don't really know anything that goes on in it. Is there, like, what even is the sequence of events? But then again, not related to Thor Ragnarok, but if you are like me and you hate the Transformers movies, you can actually watch an entire critical breakdown of them point by point. It's called The Whole Plate by Lindsay Ellis. I think it's at least 5 or 6 parts long, but it was so much fun to watch. But one of the things that she pointed out is that because of the way that Michael Bay actually shoots his films, it's really hard to remember what happens in them, because every single shot is treated like it's the most important shot of the movie, like it's the money shot that everyone has to remember. And by doing that, the audience brains just kind of zone out, because it's so much information that's coded as important that that you just can't really handle it all. It doesn't even give you time to process it. So what ends up happening is that it's really hard to remember what happens unless there was something that you personally made a point of remembering or that really stuck out to you. Which is hard to pull off when you're treating every single shot like it's the very crux of your movie. So yeah, The Whole Plate by Lindsay Ellis, I definitely recommend watching it. Because, like, especially if you just want to, if you want to really get a scope of how the Michael Bay Transformers movies are. And I mean, no offense to people who like them. I mean, they're very flashy and they're very beautiful. Their visuals are really pretty to look at. I'm just not usually a big fan of them. And can you believe, like, how many movies have there been so far? I don't know. I stopped watching after 2. I need to find something else to gripe about, but just, it's a natural subject for me to gripe about. Specifically because I dislike those movies. Well, I dislike 2 so much. The first one was alright. But even then, the first one did have some scenes that I had to go back, like, did that really happen? And, I have found the unfortunate answer to that question is yes, that really did happen. And it's one of the moments she talks about in the Whole Plate series. I am trying to keep my streams somewhat family friendly, so I'm not actually gonna talk about it. So, yeah, it's, but that's, like, the movies are popular, so I mean, there's something to them, just, I need to focus on drawing this, don't I? I believe this is also red armor, like that. What I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna find a different color for the sketch layer and I'm gonna recolor it. But in the meantime, I need to find more stuff to talk about. This pen really is functioning really well. This pen is doing a good job of being a pen. Just to put that out there, if you have a Huion that came with the battery operated pen and you decide that you might like the rechargeable one, the rechargeable one works just as well. So there's that. Here we go. I'm sorry for yawning on you guys so much. let's just... I don't know why I didn't fully sketch out that arm, but I'm just gonna roll with it. Okay, so this color goes here, and like that. Then I can take this gold color, fill it in here. Oh yeah, so I turned on text-to-speech in my Discord so that it would, so that I have less of an excuse for not responding to messages. And sorry about it. It has a really weird pronunciation for your name. It's like Sir Konanimut said. And I don't know why it adds extra syllables, but it took a little bit of getting used to. But it did help me not ignore you accidentally so much. I have a really bad habit of missing very obvious notifications, so that's, like, it's not necessarily that I'm ignoring people on purpose, it's just that it happens. So I usually, if there's any way that I can find to make my notifications louder, I usually do. Unless I need them muted, but then when I forget to mute them and it's a thing where I probably should have muted them, then that can get embarrassing sometimes. I don't know. This is turning out pretty well. I am definitely gonna have to recolor the line art, just to give it a little more pop. Alright, let's see. I can probably get away with shorthanding the pattern on the katana. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Man-at-Arms, if you can find it, or is it Men-at-Arms? I don't remember. They make swords from video games and movies and comic books, so it's really, so it's pretty fun to watch. Alright, so we'll do it. And I feel bad for shorthanding, but that is just what you gotta do sometimes. Let's see, I'm gonna check the chat again before I recolor the sketch layer. I might duplicate it again just to make it darker, or stronger, I guess. Or I might try the burn mode. So I need to use this gray color for this armor here. There we go. Purple over here. There we go. That should look all right. I think that's where I meant to put that. And now I can take this red color that I've been using the whole time. And then, there we go. And just like that. Let's zoom out. That looks alright. Let's duplicate again. Merge down. Let's try burn. That looks cool, but it's not quite what I was going for. I'm gonna check the chat and see what's up. Oh, cool. I do wonder though if I take the background color and make it kind of a light sandy-ish thing, if I can make it look. I'm gonna duplicate this again, but first I'm going to filter, blur, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna take this and go really, really dark with the color. Let's try multiply. Let's try multiply with this. Not add, multiply. Let's try overlay. Yeah, this makes it look kind of inky and sketchy, but I think I like it on burn better. I'm just gonna filter, blur, not quite as much. There we go. That should make it look nice and inky. And now I can take the pen is take this and add a paler color like that, that, and that was on the wrong layer. Let's see. Take the opacity of that down just to make it look like it's fading out. And yeah, that should look pretty neat. Let me actually duplicate, and underneath it I'm gonna blur it out just a little bit. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Cool. Thor Ragnarok sounds pretty cool. So now I can save this. And this one should be another pretty quick one. The references I got for it weren't quite as complete as for the other one. But I think if I actually... it shouldn't be that hard to finish in a timely manner. This is another person's OC, so either that or it's their fursona. I'm not quite sure at this point. But this is another one where I have a pretty good idea what I want to do. Now, if I had done a second layer for the cleanup sketch, I probably would do the same thing that I did with a deer back there. But I did the entire sketch portion of this on one layer, so I have to deal with those consequences. Let's see, there we go. The face is very rounded here. There's the nose. And the mouth. There we go. Alrighty. Here's her hair. I believe that's a purse strap or something. Neckline here. And there we go. Alright, something is not closed here. And there's that. Alright, that should have everything closed up again. There we go. Alright, and I've got a pretty good color scheme here. Actually, I want to fill the entire layer first. Then I'll take the canvas, like that. And then I can take this color for her markings. Here and here. And then I can bring the sketch layer up here so I can put in her markings here. Alright, and now I want to use this color for her eyes. But I wanted her eyes and eyebrows to be pretty easy to hide under her hair. So should fit nicely in there. There we go. I can just erase that so that it's not showing through her hair. And then I can go in and pick any one of these green tones for her eyes. But instead of filling it in a typical way, I'm just gonna use it to close up the line art. And then I can take my airbrush whenever I find it. And just gradient in some lighter tones in her eyes. And it should be good to go. Alrighty. And we've got 10 minutes left to draw this one. This one may have to carry over into next week because this style does not... it's very hard for me. Maybe with the correction up all the way, it'll be easier. But anyway. This is a character called Agent Zero, spelled with a Z, or no, spelled with an X, I'm sorry. And, I don't know anything about her. The show looks interesting, I guess. I forget what the show is called. But, I mean, the designs are fairly cartoony. Which actually made translating this. I used one of Senshi Stock's poses. I used one of Senshi Stock's poses to, as a base for this, so it was really hard to get the characters' proportions right. And they're probably still not right, but sometimes it's just the best you can do. And I probably will go overtime to get this done, but if you've got somewhere else to be, by all means. I'm just trying to make up for the lack of an afternoon stream today. Just because I did not enjoy missing it. So, she's got these massive eyelashes. If anybody has actually seen the show this character's from, by all means, talk about her. Because I know absolutely nothing else about this character except what she looks like. Alright, let's just make this a bit sharper, like that, like that. There we go. I really probably should have just traced this one. but you know how it is. Sometimes you just gotta make life harder. But I think it should be worth it. It's not going to be the most on-model drawing of this character. But let me set my reference to the layer. But it is a nice exercise in a style I don't get to do that much. Oh, there we go. This style is really reminiscent of, like, the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, and, what was it? My Life as a Teenage Robot. That show had such a catchy theme song. And, yeah, now I do have the My Life as a Teenage Robot theme stuck in my head. Not that I'm complaining. But, anyway. I feel bad not really talking too much about this character, but I'd talk more about her if I knew more about her. So she's got these buttons. And then her sleeve looks like this, kind of. And then she's got that little spiral on her sleeve. And, let's see. She also has this ring thing. On her forefinger. No idea what it does. But it seemed like an important part of her design. It's not gonna look particularly ring-like in this drawing. And then she's also got this belt. Let's see. I probably should, like, outline her and then do the inner details in a smaller brush, but whatever. Let's see. There's her skirt. Let's see. Here's her belt. I'm just gonna check against the reference again. Okay, so the belt is actually black. There we go. Trying my best to match the style, even though it's not a style I usually get to do. It's a nice style though. There we go. I'm just gonna leave that like that for her other hand, and then for her boot, just gonna draw that. There we go. for her other boot. And then of course we've got her hair to consider. And it shouldn't be too hard to get these lines to gel together. There we go. Alright, and then her lips are outlined in pink. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's that color. And I'm just gonna add that on this layer, because why not? Alright. Now to just fill things in. Alright. My reference here is canvas. I accidentally hit the line art there. Alright, so this is like that, and this is like that. Then we've got this, which actually needs to have an orange stripe here. And then this darker pink stripe here. Alrighty, so then I'm just gonna make that like that. There we go. Okay. Oh, that's actually flat white. You don't usually find that much. Alright, so there's her hand. And then the band of the ring is purple. And then the actual ring itself is this color. Okay, the belt is a different color than the eyes. Thought they might have tried to use the same color for both. So we can just fill that in for the eyes. There we go. And the rest of this is just going to be fixing it up and making sure all the gaps are filled in. And then I can call it a night for this stream. Thank you guys for tuning in and bearing with me, even though I didn't have a tablet for a little while there. Well, I had the tablet, just not the pen. And wait, are her leggings are okay. just gonna view, background color, and then in this layer, just fill it all in. On DeviantArt, this is probably going to be transparent, but Instagram does not let you do transparency too well. Alrighty, just gotta take this and fill in that, and view, background color, okay. And just for the heck of it, duplicate, protect alpha, actually let me duplicate this to merge down. Just so that it's a full silhouette. And then some text. Could probably use something a little bit blockier. And even if I can't get it quite as blocky as I'd like, I can duplicate and convert to color layer, convert to color layer, merge, not merge down that way, I wanted to merge this one, and then select, select, I need to invert that, contract by 5, let's try it now. Hold on. Contract by 5. Now let's try it. Yeah, I'd say that looks alright. So, if I actually merge this and move it over, and then take this and move it over, I can fit her entirely inside the dimensions. Alrighty, I do think that's gonna cut it for this stream. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I had a pretty good time. I hope you guys had a pretty good time too. And I will see you next week for 2 separate streams. Have a nice rest of your night. Bye!